Hello and welcome. If you've ever felt that the internet is this big, complicated place, well, you are definitely in the right spot. Today, we're just going to take a simple, step-by-step journey to understand the basics. The goal here is to make it all feel clear and easy, so you can feel confident right from the very start.
If you've ever felt little lost or overwhelmed trying to get online, please know you are so not alone. That's a really common feeling. But the good news is we're about to change that. By the end of this little explainer, you'll have the basic map you need to navigate the web with total ease.
So here's our simple roadmap for today. We're going to start with the front door to the internet, opening your web browser. Then we'll become detectives and learn how to search for any information you could possibly need. After that, we'll look at how you can connect with people in online groups. And finally, we'll explore how to actually create things together online. It's a really clear path, from just getting started all the way to collaborating.
All right, let's dive right in with part 1, opening your web browser. I want you to think of a web browser as your own personal window to the entire web. It's the essential first step you have to take before you can go anywhere else online.
So, what is a web browser really? Well, it's just a program on your computer that lets you browse or surf the web. The way to think about it is like a special window that lets you look at and open all the different pages and documents online. You've probably seen the icons for them before. Popular ones are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, things like that.
Okay, so when you open your browser, I want you to notice that long box at the very top, just like you see here. That is the address bar. The easiest way to think of it is like a street address for every single website. Each site has its own unique address called a URL, and you just type it in here to go exactly where you want to go.
But what if you find a website you really like and want to visit again without having to memorize that whole long address? Well, that's where bookmarks come in handy. As you can see, it's super simple. Just go to the page, click the little star icon up in the address bar, and it's saved. Next time, you just find it in your bookmarks list. It's kind of like putting a little flag in a book to save your favorite page.
So now we know how to go directly to a website if we have the address. But what if you don't know the address? That brings us right to part 2, searching for information. This is like having your own personal guide for finding anything on the web, even if all you have is just an idea of what you're looking for.
A search engine is just an amazing tool. A great way to think of it is like a librarian for the entire web, and that's a perfect analogy. You just tell it what you're looking for, and it searches through literally billions of pages to find the most relevant information for you. Google is the most famous one, of course, but there are others out there too. And using a search engine is incredibly simple. When you go to its website, you'll see a big search box right in the middle, just like this one. You don't have to be formal at all. You can just type in a few simple words, like rose gardening tips, or even a whole question, like how do I bake a chocolate cake? Just press enter, and the search engine does all the hard work for you. Let's just pause right here for a second. Take a moment and just think, what's one thing you have always been curious to learn about? Maybe it's the history of your town, or a recipe you've always wanted to try, or even how to fix a leaky faucet. Whatever it is, that's something you can now find just by typing it into a search engine.
All right, so the internet isn't just a giant library. It's also a place to meet and talk with other people. And this brings us to part 3. Joining online groups. This part is all about connecting with people who share your hobbies and your interests. Now, there are a couple of different ways to connect with people online. This slide shows 2 of the most common types. On the left, you've got a discussion forum. Think of this like a public town square. Anybody can just drop in and join conversations on a topic, which makes it a great place to learn from a really wide community. And on the right, you have a discussion group. This is more private, kind of like a book club. You usually need an invitation to join, which often leads to more focused discussions.
Building on that idea of connecting with people, we've arrived at our final section, part 4, working together online. This is all about how you can not only talk with people, but actually create and share things with them, no matter how far apart you might be.
And here are 2 fantastic examples of that. On the left, we have something called a wiki. This is a shared web page that a whole group of people can edit and add information to. The most famous example, of course, is Wikipedia. It's just amazing because it allows knowledge to be built by a global community. Then on the right, you have a shared document, like a Google Doc. This is more private. It's a single file that you share with specific people so you can all work on it together, even at the exact same time.
And just like that, we've covered all the fundamentals. Let's do a quick recap of our journey. We started by learning how to browse the web, then we figured out how to search for anything you're curious about, and finally, we saw how you can connect with communities and even create things with other people online. You've really learned a lot in a very short time.
So the most important thing to take away from all this is simple. You now have the map. These tools are no longer a mystery. The only question left is the fun part. What will you explore first? The journey is now yours. Thanks so much for joining me today.